Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second installment. Yes, I said second installment of the League versus League Challenge presented to you by the North American E-Racing League. My name is Gator Mike 89. I'm the co-owner and lead commentator of the NARL's Xfinity and Truck Series, and I am glad to have you join us here tonight to watch some of the best leagues come together and have us a little bit of fun. So we've got quite the action-packed show in store for y'all tonight. But before we dive into tonight's events, let me go ahead and introduce to you guys my special guests in the booth that I have with me. In alphabetical order, first, he's the broadcaster commentator for the White Knuckle Racing League. I have got Jimster M18, James McCombs. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing really well. Yourself?
Oh, I am super excited. I am pumped up for this. It was a great event the first go round, and tonight is surely going to be the same. So I'm glad you could join us here this evening and help us commentate these races tonight.
Glad I could be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Also, we have the commentator broadcaster for the Giggity Racing League, Puddin' Knievel 98. Puddin', welcome to the booth, my friend. How are you tonight?
I am doing great, and you and I sound off the same thing. I'm always like, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs. We are in for ourselves a barn burner tonight. 3 different tracks, numerous different lines. Draft will be in effect at all of these tracks for these guys, too. Teams, we got 8 teams. They are color coded tonight, too. So everybody's number is unique, but the color is who you're going to represent. And let me tell you guys, thank you for the invite up here. It's an honor to have been accepted up here, man. This is going to be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, I definitely have a little catchphrase myself, but I normally reserve that just for the Gnarl races, so I'll leave that out for tonight. But yeah, Knievel, just like you said, we have got 3 races in store for everybody tonight. We have got Auto Club that's coming up first. We have got Talladega Super Speedway. It's going to be the second race this evening. And third, but not least by any means, is Las Vegas Motor Speedway, one of the raciest tracks on Heat 5. Will be the third and final race here this evening. Like Puddin' said, though, we have 8 leagues involved tonight. 8 total. And each league has 4 drivers that they're bringing to the table for a total field of 32 drivers here tonight. James, if you want to give us a rundown of all the leagues that are involved tonight, be my guest. Go for it. Let us know what's happening.
All right, absolutely. So the first league that we have going in is the North American E-Racing League. They're going to have the white primary scheme cars racing tonight, and that's also going to be the group that is hosting this whole thing. So once again, thank you guys very much for bringing this to us. We also have Toker Racing League. They're going to be running in green schemes primarily for tonight's event. The Thunderstruck Racing League is going to be running primarily in red schemes. We also have the Giggity Racing League in their signature pink schemes for tonight's event. We have the Blue Blood Racing League, which is going to be running primarily blue schemes. We have the World Racing League, which has their schemes to be announced. We don't know what color their schemes are going to be quite yet. We have the NOS Racing League, who's going to be using their orange, blue, and white signature schemes, just like the NOS Energy drink in real life. And then we also have the White Knuckle Racing League, who's going to be running gold numbers and primarily black schemes.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in.
With that rundown out there, I know you guys got your streams going. We got ours. I want to give a big shout out to some of the Giggity guys over here real quick, and that's not offensive or anything. Blakey T, Jimbo Earnhardt, Ma Bear helps with our development over there too. But Blakey P, he likes that old pink paint scheme for the Giggity guys tonight. It's going to be exciting. And I know you guys have drivers from your league. Let's not forget to, we got, this is an international event tonight. Our one and only Robbie Racing, he's from England, guys. So this is good. This is truly a worldwide 8-team event. It's going to be I can't keep saying it enough. Awesome, fantastic. I'm already pacing.
Definitely. We have got drivers from all over the United States, all over the world. England is representing, so all drivers from all over the world are in this field tonight. So it's a very diverse field. Got some pretty good drivers from each league showing up. We asked each league to bring some of their best, pick their 4 best, and we're going to take them all together to make a 32-car field. Couple of names in here. Got Hunty Wild from Giggity. I've seen him on top of some of the leaderboards on Heat 5. We all know he's fast. So he's going to be representing tonight. We've also got That Man Perky from NOS. He was a really good driver the last time we had this installment. The Heredia God from White Knuckle is really good. We've got Fireban and Blue Bloods. Little Corey O from World Racing League. Thunderfunk, owner of Thunderstruck, is racing tonight. Gizmo Dragon and Tokers Racing League. And we've got one Pro League driver in the field tonight representing the North American E-Racing League, and that is going to be Max Boost 27. So that's at least one driver from each team that I just listed. So we have got a stacked field for everybody that's tuning in this evening. So
I love all three of these tracks, guys. Which one is your personal favorite of these three wide tracks?
James, if you want to go ahead and answer that first.
Sure, I'll take it away. Personally, I'm not as much of a fan of the super speedways as most. I don't necessarily think that Talladega is going to be the most exhilarating of races tonight, even though I'm sure it'll be great late. I'm torn between Las Vegas and Auto Club. Auto Club, you're going to get those great moves where you see a lot of 3-wide and even 4-wide racing down the front and back straights and going into the corners, and you'll definitely see guys try to take some different lines, different ways of running laps there. But at Vegas, you have that dual racing in the corners where the inside and outside are both going to be nearly as effective as one another with the dual banking system that you have there in real life. And Vegas is a home track of mine, so I might be a little bit biased. I'm going to have to go with Las Vegas.
You hit the nail on the head there, but I'm also a little bit biased myself, even though I absolutely love plate racing. I'm a little bit biased towards Auto Club. It holds a special place in my heart for many reasons. But I think that is going to be a perfect racetrack to start all this off on tonight. Like you mentioned, we are going to see 3-wide. We are going to see 4-wide. Heck, we may even see 5-wide here at Auto Club tonight. And with no stages on, that's going to make every move, every position count. If you get caught up in an accident, it's really going to hurt you. And you better hope that caution comes out.
And after qualifying, it is going to mix the field up a little bit. Ultimately, these guys, like you said, they are all on a team. Do you think these guys are going to work with other teams, or are they going to fall back and try to find the pink car, the white car, the orange car? Are they going to try to do that, or are they going to settle for where they're at and try to make it a one-man show?
Well, I think strategy-wise, yes, they're going to work with their own league mates. In terms of finding them on the track, probably not so much at Auto Club or Vegas, but Dega, they are going to be searching for their teammates. They are going to be hoping to find them on the track. That way they can draft together, because we all know that draft at these plate tracks means everything.
And Jimbo Earnhardt out there, he wants to know if this is going to be presets or customs. These are going to be presets ×4 cautions with black flags. That is how it is going. The parameters are set for tonight. And I love what Jim said there, too, right there. The second lane at Vegas, it's very fast. You get that high line, somebody might dive underneath you, but you're going to get that momentum that pulls you up in that corner. And these guys, again, we talked about it just a couple seconds ago, the draft, going into the corner, it will tighten your car up. It could push you up the track if you're not careless. There's 32 cars on the track tonight. So you're going to have to be very mindful of how you utilize that draft other than Talladega.
And I think it's going to be super important as well whenever you look at what these guys are going to do in terms of working with teammates, not just at the Super Speedway at Talladega, but also in terms of trying to get fast lap times, because we talked about how you're going to be qualifying based off of your speed from the first race and from the second race to the third. So look for teammates to try to work together, use that draft at Auto Club and at Vegas to get fast laps so that they can start higher up on the leaderboard for the next race following.
I agree with that, yes.
Okay, all right,
this is going to be fun, man. I am literally already.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be exciting here tonight. I'm glad that we've got 8 different leagues in here that have picked out what they think are their 4 best drivers. And this is basically just a gigantic PS4 All-Star race, I guess, in a sense. But looks like we're getting pretty close to going green here for qualifying. They're just checking in, make sure all the leagues have their guys and that their guys are ready. So we'll be able to load in here in just a few minutes after these guys get done with qualifying. So I guess since we have a few minutes, I'll start with Puddin this time. Puddin, if you want to give us a couple of details, few juicy snippets about Giggity Racing League, the floor is yours.
534 subscribers. We run 5 days a week, customs, presets. We have a development league that runs. So we run 3 cars a team. That's a little bit of a change for us this year. Customs come after the preset races. Preset trucks on Monday. Then we race a dirt series on Tuesdays. Then we race our preset custom guys on Wednesday. Custom Xfinity and preset Xfinity on Thursday, and then development is on Friday. And then we typically have a lot of fun and do on the weekends. We do it's not Giggity only; it's an all league around. We have endurance races every other week. Just yesterday, we did an endurance race at Australia. Australia. Excuse me, I was going to make a joke to Robbie there, but no, at Phoenix. What we have been doing though too is something a little bit different and mixing it up. Is a lot of these development guys, they have gotten drafted. We have a draft system over there. There's 7 captains now. There's trades that can be made throughout the year. Try to make it as fun and excitable for everybody. The custom guys really do their best to dial their cars in, but the team efforts, that's what I love about Giggity. We've had charity events in the past that have helped people out who've been in need. We've raised lots of money for people, the team effort, and the family of Giggity. I always say we live in one big house. We might disagree at breakfast sometimes, but at the same time, we're all there to help each other over there. And I'm excited to see what you guys have over here, too, for Gnarl and everybody else. This is going to be awesome.
Definitely going to try to highlight each league that is participating here tonight. So there you have it from Giggity. Arguably, I believe it is the biggest league that is taking part in tonight's festivities, the most members, most subscribers. So we're happy to have Giggity on board for this evening. But I know, James, you're representing the White Knuckle Racing League. Tell us a little bit about it.
So the White Knuckle Racing League started as kind of a way to combat COVID. For people in their homes, because we had a lot of people who instantly were in states that were shut down. The Ridge Rat, he lives in Florida. He started this thing back in March, and we kind of focused a little bit more on making sure that we could do something that would keep people entertained and try to grow, maybe a little bit of a grassroots organization out of it. We started off with about 35, 40 members. We ran a Cup series, an Xfinity series, and a Truck series in our first season. But after it ended, we grew a lot more in popularity. We did quite a bit to try and put ourselves out there, both with the broadcasting of myself, Tim J.A. Wells, and now we've got a third man, Sporty Morty, coming on to the broadcasting group. And we also grew to over 110 members. I think we're sitting at 119 right now. So on Friday night, we held the draft, and we got our captains set for Xfinity and Cup series, and we had a draft for driver pool in both the Cup and Xfinity series. We have a truck series competitive, a developmental truck series, and a dirt series. So we run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, leaving Friday, Saturday, and Sunday open for making sure that we keep the family involved. We don't want our lives to be racing, although it's very, very important to us. And we just do our best to make sure that we entertain everyone that becomes a fan of us and hope that we can continue to learn and grow from bigger leagues as well and get better so that we can come up and compete with you guys there.
That's fantastic.
Definitely. You guys are heading in the right direction, growing just like my league, the NRL, which I'll get to in a minute. But the roster tonight's for Giggity and for White Knuckle are as follows. For Giggity, I have Hunty Wild, I have Nuka Bob Quantum, No Shift Pendle, and confirm this for me, it's Robbie Racing as the 4th member tonight. Correct, Puddin'?
That is correct. Robbie Racing used to be known as Robbie Vids out there. He is very helpful, too. He is not against helping anybody out there. Setups, controllers, wheel settings, all of that. So it's great to get it. And that is our international entry for the night, again, over there in England. So I hope he's got his tea and crumpets set aside because he's about to pull them bullet belts tight one more time.
Yeah, just wanted to verify that because I wasn't sure whether it was him or going to be K Taddy for that 4th spot. So confirmed Robbie Racing is the 4th member of Giggity for tonight. For the 4 members of the White Knuckle Racing League, we have got Coach Matt, we've got Jose Protege, the Heredia God, and Billy Boy Roy 538, the 4 members representing the White Knuckle Racing League here this evening.
And somebody to keep an eye on out of that I know for a fact is Coach Matt. Very fast. Good friend of mine, too.
All right, so Coach Matt, somebody to look out for the White Knuckle Racing League, WKRL, one of the hottest up-and-coming leagues here on PS4. But these guys right now are in qualifying, so we've got a few more minutes. So I'll go ahead and introduce the North American E-Racing League tonight. I'm Gator Mike. I'm one of the co-owners for the North American E-Racing League. We are proud to host this event for a second time. What a success it was after the first time. But the North American E-Racing League is a preset league here on PS4, NASCAR Heat 5. And currently we have over 60 members with a unique roster for each series, Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks. We run 5 nights a week depending on the series. So we are glad that everybody could come join us here tonight. And we are happy to have everybody's support, and we keep growing as well. We are over 250 members on Facebook and Twitter, and like 175 subs on YouTube, something along those lines. So thanks for all the support for that. Tonight, representing the North American E-Racing League, we have got Captain Killam, who is a 2-time Final Four driver in the Cup Series for the North American E-Racing League. We've got You Already Heard. He is also a 2-time Final Four driver in the North American E-Racing League. We've got Shadowhawk 24/7, who is the reigning defending Cup Series champion for the North American E-Racing League. And we've got Max Boost 27. He is the Season 1 Xfinity Championship for the NARL and current Pro League driver for Chip Ganassi Gaming. So we're glad to have those 4 representing us here tonight.
Hey, Jim, I just want to give you guys a shout out there for what you guys are doing with the league. COVID is a very real situation. I just told you guys right there while we were off air. My wife is travel nursing. She is working on the COVID floor. This is a very real situation. So for bringing awareness and helping out in that kind of situation, thank you for what you guys are doing. That is completely awesome, man. That is just, because people, guys, they don't want to believe it, but I know I even look goofy in a mask too. But wear your mask. Stay 6 feet, and we will get through this. But thank you for what you guys are doing, Jim.
And thank you guys so much for continuing to support the COVID Fund as well. I know everyone is working very hard to make sure that we stay as safe as possible. We've already had quite a few people in our own league who've already been battling through COVID, and I know that we have people throughout the NASCAR community and throughout several other communities in gaming and, just all around in the cities that you're in. So wherever you guys are, remember to continue to do what's right, continue to follow what your government says locally and nationally, and we're all going to get through this together.
That is facts. Very well said.
Definitely. We're glad to have you guys on board and a bright spot amongst these tough times that we're going through here in the year 2020. But these guys are almost done with qualifying, so we'll be able to get the results for you guys here shortly, as I believe they are on their last lap, if I'm correct on the stream.
Real quick, guys, too, I don't mean to take away. Again, I'm not going to be biased towards Giggity, but I do have our YouTube pulled up. Tom Horton, he's always muted as normal Mountain Dews out there, but I want to say a big shout out to Rennie out there. Anthony Carth, we know him as Big Carth, is a dirt driver. His daughter's been going through a lot lately. He said she is watching right now. What's up, young lady? Glad to have you out there, Minnie Carth.
All right, as my viewers notice on the NARL stream, we have got the chat bar up on the right-hand side of the screen. If you guys can keep that clean, we'll be able to have some fun with that tonight. If you have any questions, please ask us questions. If you have anybody you're rooting for, shout them out there in the chat bar. And I've already got a question here from Nicholas Fisher. Do you think the drivers that race in multiple leagues that you're in will help their other league members out? So,
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, so if you've got multiple leagues that you're running in, maybe 2 different leagues, and both these leagues are in this race, which league are you going to be helping out? Do you think they're going to help out the one they're representing, or maybe even their quote-unquote opponents here tonight?
You almost got to go color-coded, Jim.
All right.
I would imagine that for the guys that are going in here, they would have to think a little bit differently based on personal relationships versus their league relationships. Do these guys want to help out with a bunch of their league mates that they've never met in person, or do they have people that they've raced with in leagues that they also have a personal relationship with, say a friend or something like that, that they would rather help out instead? It actually is a very, very good question and something to give just a little bit of thought to.
All right, as these guys are just loading back in from qualifying, so let's see who gets the pole here. Be able to announce that in just a second, as right now it's got the little point screen that's popping up.
During the pre-race right there, I was just clicking through the cars. I did go over just for the giggity guys over there to let them know I did change my car over to pink, and Rennie's out there looking at that screen right now. She's saying, "Go pink tonight." This is going to be awesome, and great, sweet young girl. Like I said, going through a lot. Carter's a great guy, but I did an honor to be up here in the booth with you guys to represent this, and I think this should be a quasi-annual type of obligation, mix it up, put some different drivers and stuff out there.
Definitely. As I'm waiting for Killam to scroll through his starting order here. He's not helping me out much with that. So before we get things started, I'm going to try to keep points for you guys tonight and update them after each race. I'm going to be using the actual NASCAR point system. So 40 points for the winner and 35 descending for second on back. For Talladega, which has stages, I will be using the stage points for the top 10 like normal. And that way we can kind of come up with a driver's champion tonight and a team champion tonight, something fun, and see who's got the ultimate bragging rights after this is all over with.
So there's an opportunity for not only one but two championships tonight, a team championship with the collaborative of points from the drivers, and then an overall drivers championship. I really like that.
Yep. And pole sitter is Billy Boy Roy is going to take the pole here for Auto Club this evening. So he has got the prime starting spot to lead this field to green and start off the action here tonight at Auto Club. So Billy Boy Roy representing the White Knuckle Racing League with the pole here tonight. James, I'm sure you're pretty proud about that.
Absolutely. He's one of our guys that came in very recently, actually, over the offseason as one of our new members, and immediately got drafted in the first round of our Cup Series draft. So definitely a fast guy and someone to look out for sure.
And it's really cool to talk to you guys about different leagues. I don't drive in anything else, especially with obligations like that over here, but to see how you guys work with the draft and teams and everything, just like Giggity does, everybody's got their unique twist on everything, and I really do like that.
Yeah, all the leagues want to be competitive. They want to be better than the rest. But at the end of the day, we all have the same goal in mind, and that is to have fun. We're all here to have fun. We're here to race with our friends, have a little bit of competitive competition here on the PS4, get away from real life scenarios like what's going on in the world right now. So this is kind of our getaway here tonight, and that's what all leagues are here for, is just to have a little bit of fun.
And at the end of the day, frustrations do raise. We virtually throw helmets at each other. And
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, though, it is about fun. And that's especially like you guys talked to about 2020 has not been very good to us. If you're on here, this is the Heat 4, Heat 5, the Heat community is not as big as other games out there, So most of us have seen each other's names. We've raced with each other. There's no need in getting upset with each other. Things do happen. It is racing. Unfortunately, you get in some of those pub lobbies, and you know what does happen there at times. But it's all about, at the end of the day, going to bed with a smile on your face, having fun, and just talking with your buddies online. Because traveling around, I don't get to see my friends from Ohio anymore. So I have met very good friends out here because of Heat. And I appreciate all of that. But that's what it's all about, is the fun factor.
Those pub lobbies are kind of like the game Wreckfest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You need two Hans devices for those lobbies.
As looks like Captain Killam is unpausing the lobby right now, so I'll be able to load in here in just a second. I will send you both invites.
All right.
As I'm going to go blue screen.
Happen. We don't exactly want any Tony Stewart helmet launches at a different car in a race tonight.
Something I'm a favor of, and a lot of people are. I like road courses. I don't mind them. Some people do, though.
For me, it really depends on the road course. You look at certain road courses like Sonoma, and Yeah, really pretty much anything but Sonoma, but you look at road courses like that where you see a lot more change in your elevation, stuff like that, and you start to have problems with stability controls, things like that. But at a place like Road America or Watkins Glen, I can totally understand that.
So for this first race here, I know we're just loading in now. Bear with us here in the booth as we try to navigate through all these custom cars that these guys have put together. We may slip up every now and then, but
we're good to accept.
we're going to try our best.
Oh, can we accept the invite?
Yes, you guys are good to join.
There we go. We are accepting to all you guys out there in the Giggity YouTube land. Let me blue screen just for one moment. I don't know if you'll be able to hear them, but we are going racing, boys and girls. Auto Club, 2 lanes. That second lane is very fast. We all know that.
Yes, I am loaded in already. I am on board with Billy Boy Roy, your pulse hitter, looking back at this hornet's nest. These guys are 2 and 3 wide already as they head off into turn 3. We've got somebody looking inside. That is Big Dane with the green and orange car for the, let's see here, for the Tokers Racing League. Big Dane looks to take the early advantage here, coming to the end of lap number 1.
And there you see that run on the outside. Billy Boy Roy gets, there's another White Knuckle Racing League car sitting in 6th position right now, being pushed by another NOS Leaguer. Looks like running in that high lane. We're also looking at another driver down low, trying to make it 3 wide, coming out of turn number 2, and it looks like cars are already getting into the wall coming out that corner. Expect that to be a theme in these packs early on in runs today.
Also a theme here at Auto Club is these guys could get a little bit snappy loose off of turn 2 as well, depending on their presets and how they got their car set up. So turn 2 could be the action spot here at Auto Club tonight.
As you see that custom 88 going down the straightaway.
Go one off in the grass.
Yep, somebody, that's not a good situation.
Oh, and we have a wreck. We have a wreck on the front straightaway.
Big wreck, big wreck.
I'm trying to get around to it. There they are.
Put around. Yeah, I know. There's 32 cars, and we all know how difficult that is to get back there, but yes.
Yeah, we see Max Boost involved in it. We already see Thunderfunk in it as well. Green Hornet is involved. Robbie Racing amongst many others.
Yeah, I saw a car go off through the infield grass just out of the very corner of my view. Don't know who it was, but they stacked them up here on the front stretch here at Auto Club after Big Dane had jumped out to 3-4 car length lead early on here. But let's see how these guys re-rack them. This is their first chance at getting some setups in. And
you were stealing all my lines in Giggity when we coming from the green flag or from the stage. We're going to rack them and stack them. Here we are at Auto Club for the League vs. League Challenge. Man, David Mike's in the same brain as me.
Hey, I try my hardest. As we are coming back to green, looks like one of the NOS Racing League cars has decided to stay out, along with 6 or 7 others at Speed 000 Racer right now leading into the green flag.
And he's looking good to everybody else, trying to be patient, hold on to that single file, that second lane will work. Couple cars going to push up to the high side here. All these cars trying to get down to the inside, full throttle through turn 1 and 2, battle for the lead going under the inside. Second and third back there, they are also trying to battle it out. We are on what we call affectionately known as boom vision right now, but the black car makes a move from the inside. I can't tell if that's Coach Mac. Brings it 4 wide, going into turn 3. 48 car makes a pass for the lead, Jim.
As we look back up towards the front, we see just an absolute mess up front of blue, a mix between the NOS Racing League and the Blue Blood Racing League with a mix.
Sorry, Jim. Cars spun around in the front stretch. Go ahead.
It looks like Nuka Bob Quantum is going through the grass on the infield. A couple of other cars involved. Most of the guys up front completely unscathed, but a few different drivers with an incident already, and we are already underneath our second caution flag of the day.
Yeah, we had another incident on the front stretch towards the back half of the field. Some more cars going off through the grass, but here early on, have a bunch of Blue Bloods cars up front along with some NOS cars, and I even see some White Knuckle cars up here in the front. Got a good mix here early on at Auto Club.
Absolutely, and one of the White Knucklers, Coach Matt, also involved in that incident, has left front damage coming out of turn 2 right now. It looks like another one may have also been involved. We look at Joe Turkey, who also has a lot of front end damage from that incident. We'll see who decides to come in here up front, take tires after staying out on that first pit stop, see if they can get some fresh rubbers and work their way back up through the field if we finally get some green flag running here at Auto Club.
Ford Fresh using the belly full of fuel for the leaders. Here we go again. Sorry guys, racking and stacking for the second time here at Auto Club for the League vs. League Challenge. 8 teams battling it all out, Mike.
Yeah, we've got 2 Blue Bloods cars here on the inside lane that have, 3 of them, sorry, that have led this field to green here. Looks like these guys are trying to find themselves and use a little bit of strategy to keep themselves together here at the front of the field. So Blue Bloods playing the game correctly here early on.
Oh, second place car hits the wall. Go ahead, sorry. They're still 4 and 5 wide back there. He sweeps that wall, tried to stick it full throttle. Maybe that draft came into effect. The black car's coming in right there. 4 of the Blue Blood cars all right there, and there's Blue cars making it happen. Look at that pack. You want to talk about a hornet's nest? 6 wide at one specific time. Just for a split
Oh
second.
my goodness, what am I seeing? This is
what we call
crazy.
a pucker factor. That is a pucker factor, boys. Woo!
You saw Thunderphone go into the grass there on the front stretch, but everyone keeps it straight. 5 wide, 3 lanes.
Oh, we got one on the apron.
Now a spin. A spin. There's a white knuckler involved in it as well as a pink and green car. 2 white knucklers involved now. It looks like Robbie Racing also involved in that incident. Looking
Oh
a
my
little bit further
goodness.
back, we see a couple of the other cars that are involved in that one.
Yeah,
If you tell him to put his tea and crumpets down, he can't drink and drive like that.
Had one of the guys in the back clip the apron, caught a couple cars on his way around. Not as big as the first 2 incidents we had here tonight, but still brought out the caution nonetheless. But one of the things about this game, though, is it gets tired of calling cautions every now and then. So we may see one of these big ones and nothing get called.
We were talking about this a little bit earlier with a couple of guys that I got driving tonight. They weren't necessarily worried about how big the field is. They were just worried about, driving with people that you may not have always driven around. Some people might drive different than you. Some people have the same style. We're going to rack and stack here with Billy Boy Roy. We're going to bring them down. But you got to learn how everybody drives, their techniques, their styles to make everything work.
Yep. The familiarity factor is not present here tonight thus far. These guys are not familiar with racing with some of these other league guys. So it's going to take them a few laps here to get adjusted to each person's driving styles, as Billy Boy Roy is maintaining the point here at Auto Club.
Look at
Expect
that
to see
pack
him-
back here. Oh, his car spun around the 52 is one of them. Who else was involved? That's me. That name
Right now, it looks like these guys stay under green. We go back and see Billy Boy Roy up front. You talked about it just a second ago. Skull Racer, one of the guys involved in that wreck there as they come out of 4. He looks like he's going to try to block as many lanes as he possibly can as they try and get runs here down the front straightaway, both in those upper and lower lanes. Now the lead getting absolutely swarmed as we see a couple more drivers try to make their way through and get up to the front of the pack here.
I'm on board with Speed Racer 00 right there. He's appeared about being the 6th or 7th. He is in that one incident up front, trying to keep it off the car on the outside. The draft again, they are utilizing it right now. These guys back here have to back this corner up just a little bit. Billy Boy Roy is still going to lead them down that second lane, though. As long as you follow
got a
that
caution.
contact being made, there's a caution. Yeah, that second lane, though, if you follow that tar mark on that outside line, they'll drive you get there too. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, these guys almost found a groove there for a minute. The keys to the racing tonight is going to be able to find a groove, get kind of strung out here, and just log some laps. So these races are going to go pretty quick here if we have a bunch of cautions. But these guys still have 36 laps remaining here at Auto Club, so plenty of time to go from the back to the front, make some moves, strategy plays. Still no rush.
You can't win the race on the first lap. Patience is going to be a virtue for a lot of these guys. Again, with, like you said, 2 championships up on the line. We have a driver championship and a team championship. Don't push issues too early. In order to win a race, you got to be able to finish the race. You got to put yourself in that position to do it. So everybody just needs to take a little breather right there, because I do not want to be in their crew chief's ears. We're going to go back on the green flag side racing at Auto.
Absolutely, Puddin'. We go back now and we see Billy Boy Roy, who was up in the lead there at the time of caution, falling all the way back to the 9th position. So it looks like he decided to come to pit road, and the 8 cars in front of him likely staying out on the racetrack during this caution, and already scrambling on the backstretch, 3 wide and 4 wide once again near the rear of the field. And up front, two of those blue cars up front. The Blue Blood Racing League trying to make moves to stay up front now ahead of Big Dane 78.
It is impressive to see these 32 cars go away the giant pack like that, Mike.
Definitely, as these guys make their way down the front stretch here, which has a little bit of an art to it, so it can catch you off guard a little bit. But these guys handled it well this time, as they are trying to find a groove and log some laps here at Auto Club. It's been a rough start to the action thus far, but we are starting to get some green flag laps in right now, and right when I say that, here comes a big crash.
There's another one heading down into turn number 3. Car flipping over. Looks to be one of the white and blue machines that is over on its roof and now makes its way back onto 4 wheels. Plenty of cars involved in this one. It looks like almost every single league. The entire color palette involved in that wreck. No Shift Fendel involved. 2 white knucklers are both in it, Jose Protege being one of them. Looking at Nuka Bob Quantum, looks like he was involved. You already heard is involved in that one as well, plus many others.
Yeah, we were going painting during that wreck.
Yeah, jumping over the fence like that. I think they wanted a chicken sandwich. I hear this place makes a great sauce.
I mean, there's a bunch of In-N-Out burgers there in California, and that's a popular place. From what I hear, I have no opinions on it because I've never had it.
I'll tell you what, from being there, it's very much true. In-N-Out, one of the best burger places in the world. It's awesome.
Some of these guys must have saw an In-N-Out burger on the outside of the backstretch wall there. But as we rack them and stack them, as Puddin likes to say, here we go. Green flag up in the air again. I'm on board with your third place runner here, Big Dane 78, looking to give a push to the leader. And is going to do so as they head off into turn 1 yet again here at Auto Club Speedway.
Right, Vince, definitely. And pick and choose his line right now. Everybody behind him is going to make their mind up. Are they going to go with him or are they going to go to the side? 3 cars to the side, making a grab. 4s to the outside. That did not work for him. Again, Auto Club didn't widen up, and you can utilize 2 or 3 lines back that corner up just a little bit. You still can make that turn.
Oh, man. 5 wide for the lead.
Yep, I'm watching it right now. I'm with Danny.
Sorry to interrupt you, but it got wild.
Woo! These boys they know it's time to clicking down with these tires. Again, 4 times tire wear, overdriving these cars like that could keep these tires up.
Oh, one car hard into the wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and it causes a stack up behind them. Multiple cars involved. It looks like 6 or 7. Hunty Wild is involved in this one. That is going to be one of the Giggity Pink machines. It looks like Captain Killam is also going to be involved in that wreck, the number 14. Red, white, and blue machine there. Green Hornet 316 involved in that Ally Bank number 88 Chevrolet, as well as several others, including guys that we saw up front earlier on in the race, now way further back in the pack. And if we look further up front now, we see 3 NOS Racing League Chevrolets up front.
Playing strategy into their favor here. They think track position is key. And so far, they might be correct on this one. So the NOS guys, by virtue of staying out on some of these pit stops, have found themselves 1, 2, 3 under this caution flag.
Want to give a big shout out there in YouTube land to Fluffy too. Fluffy, we all know who that is. Man, great to have him on board watching this 8 versus League challenge. This is awesome. And we are going to rack them and stack them. Jimbo, Jim, you want to take it?
Absolutely. We head down for the restart, and Speed 000 Racer leads them back down to green in that number 99 NOS Chevy Camaro. They go back down into turn 1, already spreading 3 wide. A white knuckler going back down all the way to the apron and bumping already as they head into turn number 1, shifting positions around once again. Speed Racer gets away from the pack right away and puts almost 5 car lengths of an advantage between himself and the 98 in second place.
All of the NOS cars currently in the top 8. I just want to go ahead and list their roster off real quick. We got Bubba Chafin 3, we got That Man Perky, Wreckfest 92484, and Speed 000 Racer representing the NOS cars, all in the top 10 here right now tonight.
We've got upwards of 20 viewers over here on YouTube as we see No Ship Pendle, the OH guy himself, gets into
big wreck.
Big wreck. Everybody doing a little of that, mowing the lawn down the straightaway. That will bring out another deadline, a.k.a. flying at Auto Club.
Looked like Pendle got his nose chopped there coming down the front stretch, put him right in the outside wall, collected everybody behind him. Nobody had anywhere to go. Product of the close racing here at Auto Club.
Want one of those things where you just stay in it to win it, especially with these laps closing out.
Yeah, we are already
21.
with all these cautions. We're within 20 laps to go here at Auto Club already. So let's hope these guys can get some green flag laps here to end this race and prepare for Dega in race number 2.
And just for everybody out there at YouTube, sorry to cut you off, Jim. For the Giggity guys, we are not going to cut off. We are going to go straight from race to race to race. So please stay tuned.
We looked at 2 of the Toker Racing League machines that both got involved in the wreck that time around, and unfortunate to see for them, because now as they start to run a little bit further back in the pack, none of their cars look to be running further up in the pack. So let's see if they can make their way up with pit strategy, if we can get a green flag pit stop here as they go back down to green already, starting to flare out as they get back down into turn number 1.
Betts takes it on the high side right there. He's got a big line push and fall off the pace just a little bit. His teammate's a 99 car right there. 21 going to go down to the other side. Flies that line there, 3-4 wide forward. Wait, back here. Can't see what's going on because I want to keep my eyes on this 98 car. Car gets pushed below that white line on the back right there. That's going to cost him some time. As long as he can maintain it and don't pull up in front of everybody, which he does. Very good job. Still 2, 3, 4 wide back here. 32 cars on the 8-league challenge here on Sunday night Auto Club Racing.
Looks like another blue blooder gets down into the grass once again, spinning as he made contact with another car coming off of the corner. And it looks like 2 cars now mowing the lawn back down into turn number 1 for the rest of the pack. Though for the moment, looks like we remain green, and now the caution flag.
There we are again. It's going to be a caution-filled event here at Auto Club, unfortunately, it appears. As one of the white knuckle guys there made a pass for the lead, and he's going to lead this field to green, assuming he doesn't pit. I'm trying to scroll through here. It is Billy Boy Roy, your pole sitter, back out front here at Auto Club.
Something these guys need to take into consideration if they do not pit is the green-white checker consideration. Are they going to have enough fuel, or are they going to stay out of these old tires?
Definitely an interesting thing to follow, and right now it's gone back and forth. The lead between Billy Boy Roy 538 and Speed Racer from the NOS Racing League, Billy Boy Roy from White Knuckle. It's back and forth between these 2 so far today for the lead, and I'd imagine if we went green that it might be these 2 for the lead. They both decide to go in for tires and fuel, and that puts them back in the 7th or 8th row here as we get ready to go back down to green here at Auto Club Speedway.
Billy Boy Roy
down there, Duke of Bob Quantum going to pull down. He's going to try to go down the right line as quick as possible, and the pink car goes right there with him. Again, utilizing that first line, everybody knows you can go full throttle. Still trying to maintain that 2-line wide. You get that trapped in here. Can they make it work? Will it go 4 or 5 wide? Yes, they go.
We have got 2 Giggity cars followed by 2 Thunderstruck cars here in your top 4 at Auto Club.
One car, the black one, makes a move, he goes down below the white line. Got to be careful doing that because it will get you loose and spin you out. You don't want to do that. One of the green cars, he tries not to get shoved down pit lane as they are battling it out. 21, Duke Bob Quantum is going to be credited with that lap lead.
Got 2 North American E-Racing League cars on the outside in Shadowhawk 24/7 and Max Boost, trying to make the high lane work as these guys get checked up in the middle of 1 and 2.
And a big move by the number 78 underneath in turns 1 and 2, goes from 6th to 2nd in just 1 move by staying right there on the bottom line. And now trying to track down Nuka Bob Quantum for the lead as they head down into turn number 3, using everywhere on the track, all the way down to the apron underneath that white line, and now a crash in the middle of turns 3 and 4. 2 more of those green TRL cars involved, along with Max Boost, and he collects a couple more coming out of 4.
And something that we talked about too is not only being, in the race with some of these people, the wheel to controller factor. Some of these people might be banging sticks. Some of these guys might be out there turning the oval, So they're going to figure everything out, and things do happen. Got Nub out there too. What's up there, Nubby? Great to have you on board.
Yeah, is there any advantage to having a wheel or a controller versus the other one?
I was a second and a half quicker when I switched to a wheel.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's a quick answer.
The throttle control, the force feedback, so you can actually feel the car, it makes a big difference in my opinion. Some people do prefer to bang those sticks, though.
I've been a proud user of the Bingo sticks for about 14 years now, ever since I got a PS2 when I was about 3 or 4 years old. So unfortunately, I never got to try the wheel. I've been sticking with a controller, so I couldn't give you a straight answer, but I know that I make some magic happen on the controller every once in a while.
And we're going to rack them and stack them as the one car, the red, white, and blue, pulls it down. Looks like he's got his teammate right there with him. Everybody again still trying to utilize that traffic, not go too crazy, but towards the end of the race, things do happen.
Pit strategy once again came into effect there as they come out of turn number 2. An entirely new slew of cars. Once again out front, you see a couple of the Nosers back up front. Honey Wild, one of the Giggity machines, is up front as well.
Yeah, we've got 3 NOS cars currently in the top 5. They are playing strategy to perfection here tonight to keep and maintain that track position. As your current leader right now is Max Boost 27 in one car out front, followed closely by Speed 000 Racer in second place, and a Blue Blood driver there in third.
Apologize to everybody out there in YouTube land with 32 cars. It is hard to get click through to everybody. Second, third, fourth, and fifth back here. Even sixth.
Got one on the wall for 2.
Line coming out of 2. A car making move to the inside. And we got 3 blue cars and Coach Matt. That's who I'm on board with. He's going to utilize that car. Move down the middle of it. Pull that up, and that Steve's going to have to bank that corner up. That high side's going to work a little bit better for those 2 blue cars.
Looks like they get a little bit stacked up in turns 3 and 4 now. I'm following along with Dylan 51792, and a big crowd of cars behind him, and someone's spinning. Coming out of turn number 4, back down the front straightaway, once again mowing the lawn. Just a 1-car incident, and it looks like the green flag will stay out. I'll try and get the name on who that was spinning through the infield as we head back through turns 1 and 2 now.
Back here in the middle of the pack, they're 3, 4 wide coming up on that backstretch. Long backstretch. Get that tall, skinny pedal far right, back it up just a little bit. It's Captain Killam looking really good, and I'm a little biased to that paint, scheme because they mentioned the airport, but I love that number.
Yeah.
I love that paint car. Except for it's a Mustang. Never mind. It's
about 5th on back right now is all stacked up 2 by 2, with the top 4 trying to stay single file, breaking away from the rest of the field. We are coming to, we are going to have, I can't tell, 6 laps to go here at the line.
Looks like the NOS cars have done an amazing job of being able to stay up front, currently holding the top 3 spots, and that was Thunderstruck 10 that was involved in that single car spin coming out of turn number 4. No caution call, he falls to the rear. Part of what I believe is the Thunderstruck Racing League. Unfortunate to see there. Not too many points likely heading their way, but they still have 2 more races. We look up front once again and see those 3 NOS cars. And do you think that this was all strategy-based, or do these guys really have that crazy amount of speed to be able to step front as there's a wreck once more heading down into turn number 1?
Oh, I'm on board with it. And that one car went to the taco stand. He went 60 feet in the air. I think a lot of this has to do with adrenaline and pride, not only for your league, but yourself.
That does bring out the caution here, and I believe we are going to have a 2-lap shootout here to the end of this. After all things are said and done with this caution, maybe 3 laps left somewhere in that ballpark.
Oh, I'd go full send on it. Don't pit, stay out.
Full send is what's gotten us in this position here, Puddin.
Well, I'm just saying, stay out right now with 32 cars. Position is key to get a good finish.
Yep. I think track position right now trumps fresh tires. We've seen that most of this race. If you get caught in the back, it's going to be hard to make your way through all of this traffic back to the front.
And this is so cool to be up with different broadcasters and commentators. I didn't cut you guys off, but that we all do this so much to be on the same page. This is a unique experience for me, and I'm enjoying it.
So we've got 2 NOS, 2 White Knuckle here as we lead them back to green. I'll see how many laps are left.
That is Speed Racer, one breaking down on the road. Black Rose to the outside again. They're getting a little racy in the back there, Jim. Full throttle through turns 1 and 2. Be careful, don't kiss that apron.
We've got 3 laps left.
Looks like Jose Protege getting the run out of turn 2 now with help from Billy Boy Roy on the back straightaway. The 2 White Knucklers are getting the draft down the backstretch and heading into turn 3. Those two take the top 2 positions now as we wrap around turns 3 and 4. People using the apron once again to try and make their way through the corner. Speed Racer makes his way up to second as we come out of turn number 4 and come down to just 2 laps to go here in the Auto Club 100 at Auto Club Speedway.
Cars hit each other and make contact being made. One car cut through the grass back in the impact does not bring out a caution. Drivers starting to hook up a little bit with each other. And don't forget, we're going to Talladega next.
Race stays green flag as we have a dual battle here for first and for third between White Knuckle and Nos here for the win at Auto Club. But don't look now, here comes a Giggity car and a Thunderstruck car trying to make their way into the top 5 as we come around turn 4 to find the white flag here at Auto Club.
Jose Protege staying up front now. He sits up there in that number 11 Ford Mustang just in front of the Nos guys. And there's a caution almost coming out now as a wreck happens coming out of turn number 4.
That is going to end it.
That's going to end the race, and your winner is Jose Protege of the White Knuckle Racing League. 2 NOS cars right behind him. Billy Boy Roy finishing this race in 4th, and a Thunderstruck machine, one of the Toyota Camrys, coming back to finish the race in the 5th position.
So you have 2 White Knuckle and you have 2 NOS that have rounded out your top 4 here at Auto Club.
We've seen a lot of talent happen there. I think, again, aggression goes a little bit inverted in that. We are not going to leave this chat. We are going to stay live. We're going to Talladega. This is a 3-race battle. Auto Club. Congratulations to him. Now, going into Talladega, knowing that you got yourself a nice little points lead for your team and yourself, again, because there's a drivers and a team championship. What do you do here? Do you play it safe, or do you just put that old hammer down and go?
Well, these guys have a nice little break here in between the races to figure out their strategy here for Talladega tonight. So they'll be able to figure out here. I'll wait to see how long Killam's going to give each team or league before we start into the next one. But we'll see.
Got to give them a minute, go grab themselves a refreshment, relieve themselves. That was a long race right there. And now at Talladega, I call it HWH, high, wide, and handsome. I expect to see a lot of that being used with 32 cars here.
Well, Jim, what are your takeaways here from race number 1 at Auto Club?
First thing I have to say, NOS's teamwork is undeniably phenomenal. It looks like they're probably in a party chat with each other. I can't deny they likely are. And I can't imagine that these guys aren't talking through with each other better than anyone else and figuring out exactly what they need to do. I also want to take into consideration that the fastest lap here isn't necessarily, after this race, going to be set from the looks of it in qualifying for this next race by the guys that were running up front. It will most likely be set by whoever was able to make a great lap in the middle of the pack with a lot of draft help. So expect to see some unfamiliar names heading up the starting lineup and seeing some of the guys that you saw further up, like Billy Boy Roy, and some of the NOS drivers as well as Hunty Wild and Robbie Racing, Dylan 59712, and some of the other guys we noted that were running really well. So maybe see starting them further a little bit back in the pack versus starting near the front like you would maybe expect.
Now, Mike, did we talk in the pre-race how the qualifying was going to be set after each race?
Yes, the qualifying for Talladega is based off of the lap times here at Auto Club. So if you back out of the race after Auto Club, you're starting in the back here at Dega. So good luck with that.
Not always a bad position to be, but at the same time, not exactly where you want to be, too. But no, 8 races, Gator Mike, myself, Hood, and Jim, honored to be up here with you guys, having a lot of fun. We've got 22 viewers over here in our YouTube channel watching, and I can only imagine how you guys are doing. So we probably have only over 100 people watching this League Meet League Bagel.
Yeah, so rounding out your results here at Auto Club, we've got Jose Protege is your winner, representing the White Knuckle Racing League. Second is going to be Speed 000 Racer. Third, Wreckfest 92484. Both of those guys with NOS. You've got Billy Boy Roy finishing 4th place for White Knuckle, and Dylan 51792 representing Thunderstruck, rounding out your top 5. So I'm going to concentrate here on figuring out some points here in just a minute and see how these team points add up after race number 1. So give me just a couple minutes as I prepare those for you guys.
Alrighty, and while we do that, I just want to take a minute, Puddin, to ask you a couple of questions. First off, the one thing I want to ask you first, what is the most important factor, do you think, that's going to be having to take into account here for the Talladega race? What do you think stands out? It's kind of the X factor for who's going to be able to make it up front when the race comes down to its final laps.
The first thing you think I'm going to say is your teammates. Obviously, you're going to need your teammates, but it's patience. Situational awareness, seeing if something is going to happen right in front of you. If they're going to spin, if you see cars taking it 3 wide, what are you going to do there? So my key to winning at Talladega will definitely be situational awareness.
I definitely like your answer there, something that I wouldn't have thought of for sure. And one other thing that I don't think a lot of people would have thought of that could be a big factor is lag spikes. I know it's not something we like to see often, and I know a lot of guys are hardwired into their walls to make sure that lagging happens as little as possible, but when you're in a big pack race like this and you're often sharing bumpers with one another, lag spikes can become something that will absolutely ruin an entire line's momentum and could cause to separate the packs a little bit more in this race here at Talladega. So even though some of the viewers who are watching this won't be able to see the lag spikes happen in race because we likely won't be focusing on them, they will still become a factor in this race.
Yeah, technology is it's been a huge benefactor, but sometimes technology like that is not always the best. We know how that works. I have seen firsthand, been a victim of something where a lag spike or a misconception like that comes into play, and you can't be upset with that driver. It's not technically their fault, but it does come into play, and it will be a factor. So far, so good. Even with customs and all custom lobby, that's where we typically see a lot of that, back and forth. It looked pretty good there at Auto Club. I think it was just a little bit of aggression there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the one thing to note is the aggression. I'm sure that'll go down once we get a little bit more into some simplified pack racing here at Talladega. And the other big thing that I wanted to ask you about is for these drivers right now, not just working with their teammates, but what necessarily do they have to do to work with other drivers that they don't have communication with, and who's going to be able to do that best, in your opinion, here at Talladega?
I call it the universal turn signal. The best communication you have is when you're going to pit. If there isn't a caution, is dipping down below that yellow line. When I see somebody do that, like I said, I call it the turn signal. That's letting them signal. We're not in the chat party. Hey, I'm going to back it down. That way they don't get punted from behind. That way the driver behind them can make the move that they need to do. So I wouldn't say verbal communication, but signaling to people, that's going to be a big factor too in helping each other out.
Absolutely. And one last thing, I know we talk about every once in a while the speed that you have to carry at super speedways. You obviously have to be fast here, going over 200 miles an hour on a consistent basis, but you see a lot of people decide to pump up the air pressure in these tires on everywhere, trying to get them up to 60, and it feels like you're driving pretty much on hot air balloons around the racetrack. So what can these drivers do to counter that and try and get more grip on the racetrack during the race?
To be honest with you, I'm not going to hide my secret from anybody. I do not start out at 60. We all know tire pressure builds up, right? That's where you want to be. The higher the tire pressure, the less rotating mass, the less rotating resistance. I actually start my tire pressures around 54 or 55 and let them build up through the run instead of starting them directly at 60.
Definitely an interesting point you make there, not to go all the way up to 60. Something I really like as well from your strategy standpoint. One thing to note here, we are using presets, so you're going to see these tire pressures start off with 28s on the left sides and 50s on the right. So look for these guys to possibly pit as often as they can in case they get a long green flag run, just to get those tire pressures as high as they can, because that will allow them to carry more speed in a straight line here at Talladega.
Very much a big factor right there. The custom guys, they've got their tire pressures already set and the grill tape, and they got everything set up. These preset guys, depending upon cautions, it does take so long too. It's just we all know how much it pains us to sit there and keep clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking, and you might not get all the left sides all the way up to exactly where you want. One might be higher than the other. Or you just do both in small increments to try to accelerate that in the future. But these preset guys have a little bit more difficulty getting those cars dialed in as obviously a custom, and that's obviously a no-brainer. That is a Booger McFarlane fact right there.
Absolutely, but I'm glad that you could be the one to bring it to us. Certainly helping us out a lot tonight. Your knowledge seems to be relatively uncanny compared to most of the people I've seen in order of customs and with preset setups. So thank you so much for that. And ladies and gentlemen, hopefully a little bit of education for you if you're looking to try and get better at these plate tracks here in NASCAR Heat 5.
I definitely didn't just wake up and get that. I've had a lot of help from a lot of people out there. Again, I don't participate in any other leagues. I've had a lot of friends, though, but everybody over there at Giggity, again, not being super biased, a lot of super fast guys, they've helped me enlighten stuff. I race motorcycles in real life. I race cars in real life, and it's all different, even going virtually on here. But the concept at the end of the day is still the same thing. So I click here, tire pressure there, it will completely offset everything on your vehicle. And everybody drives differently. Some people like a loose car, some people like a tight car. You just got to be able to find that happy medium of what you like to be able to compete with everybody.
Absolutely, that's definitely extremely important. And as we continue to get ready for Talladega here, one more thing to point out. A lot of these leagues did not really get the chance to show what they were truly made of at Auto Club because a lot of the accidents that we had kept them from getting up to the front. So don't expect those blue blood racers, white knuckle racers, and some of those NOS guys, as well as a few of the North American E-Racing League guys, the Toller Racing League guys, and some of the NOS guys to be the guys that stay up there for this entire race. Again, the starting lineup is already going to be a lot different because of what the fastest laps actually were at Auto Club Speedway. So look for maybe some different paint schemes, some different leagues to make their way up to the front early on in this one.
And just because of where you qualified, where you finished for this race, I don't see everybody completely dropping back on the first lap because that will stack the field up. But it will be zero surprise to me if you see a car go to the high side or go to the inside and let everybody else, so you can hook up with that 4-car draft and get it down the road there. And everybody, like you said earlier too, they're all in a chat party, but they almost have to be, especially here.
That makes a lot of sense. You definitely talked a minute ago about the aggression that we had going on at Auto Club right away. Take me through your progressions mentally as you get into this first corner here at Talladega, because we always seem to have guys that try and stuff their nose lower than it should go or try and fit their car in a hole that it should barely even get in the first place. Do you try and do that same thing and maybe be the one to try and be the aggressor and force the issue, or are you the one that kind of wants to sit back and let what happens out play out in front of you?
I would absolutely not show any aggression. Just because somebody gives you that inch, that doesn't mean you have to take that mile. The fast lane around super speedways is not always on that yellow line. It's just above it. But again, like I just said, people give you that inch, you feel like you got to shove it down in there. Then you hit the apron. You come up into a middle of a 3-car pack, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, somebody's getting a pretzel in the grandstand. They don't want that. Long race still, even though it's 25%. Be cautious. If you see something, just because there's an opening there, doesn't mean you have to take it that lap. Sit back a couple laps, see what the person in front of you is going to do, then make your move on that. Again, situational awareness and strategic planning.
All right, definitely interesting points that you brought up there. Strategic planning, making sure that you don't take more than what is given to you. Give and take, definitely going to be an important factor at Talladega Super Speedway. We get ready for these Cup drivers to go back in for a second round of competition at the Super Speedway before we head over to my home track of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This one's going to be a 25% or 4 times wear yellow and black flags. Something new that's going to be added to this race is going to be stages. We didn't have stages in that first race, and this one is going to be a little bit different because of those 2 stages that we have before the final one.
And that's where your strategy is going to come into play right there, too. And what these guys really need to honestly do, too, is zero retaliation. Things happen, especially 32 cars that you've never driven with before, okay? Somebody might have you need to go back to a complete mind reset. It's a brand new race. Everything starts from ground zero. Take what you were given start-wise, work with your team, find some other people. I have worked with people that aren't even on my team before, Mr. Mountain Dew of all things too. Him and I weren't on the same team. We ended up working our way up to the top 5 finish one night. So be smart, be calm, take a deep breath.
You guys can go ahead and load in as we are getting underway here at Talladega. Pole sitter for this race is Hunty Wild from Giggity Racing League in that bright pink car. He's going to lead the field to green here. And I think the key here is to hug that yellow line here at Talladega until his teammates come from the back to help him out up front, as we have got a mixture of cars here at the front. No leagues are together. The closest guys are, looks like the White Knuckle Racing League. They've got 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside, about 6th place.
47 laps, 32 drivers, 1 more race to go. This is, again, going to be another barn burner. Do you fall back? Do you find your teammate? Do you just work with the person in front of you? In order to win that race, you cannot wreck. You got to be able to put yourself there. To win a race, I said it earlier, you got to be there at the end. Work with what is given with you.
Absolutely. We look at Hunty Wild now leading as we get down off turn number 2 for lap number 2. These cars fully up to speed now. 3 White Knucklers running 3rd, 4th, and 5th, getting together there in their Ford Mustangs and Chevy Camaros. In 2nd place, we have Big Dane 78 in that number 88 machine for TRL. That would be Tokers Racing League. And from there on, we have a big run on the inside line before the outside line starts to form about 12 or 13 cars deep.
Wild going numberless, just representing his team. Everybody again going to that single file line. I've seen it before in the past. 25 cars. I was even involved in one night. 232 miles an hour in a 25 car draft. It is intense. Everybody just trying to hold on to what they got. 2 cars back there making that high line, trying to work, but power is numbers here. The more the merrier. That's how you get the revenue.
As I am almost done with points here after Auto Club. Get those here in just a second.
I'm taking a look right now at Billy Boy Roy. Again, finished 4th in that race at Auto Club, sitting 4th currently here at Talladega for White Knuckle. Not trying to be biased here. I know I'm giving probably a little more coverage on my screen to those guys than some of the others. I'm trying to talk about everyone evenly here. We look a little bit further back now at a car already getting into the grass. It looks like that's the number 48 machine, I believe, that came back down into the grass and now back up on the racetrack in a wreck. A wreck in turn number 1 already here. It looks like King Joey 1986 and the number 88. One of the guys involved for the Thunderstruck Racing League. Shadowhawk already leaving this race in his number 43 white Chevy Camaro.
And this is what you were talking about earlier. The leaders definitely don't want to see this, but everybody else does. This is the opportunity to come down and get your preset dialed in, make your adjustments as needed.
Absolutely. You talked about those tire pressures being so important a little bit earlier on, and maybe some of these guys that started a little bit further back and know they're fast and know they have a chance up front maybe decide to stay out here, sacrifice that speed from an early pit stop and try to get some track position here in the beginning of this second run after the first caution.
Yeah, as it looks like the Shadowhawk car for the North American E-Racing League has DNF'd here early on at Talladega, maybe lagging out. And another thing of note, we did have a driver change for the NARL. Max Boost is sitting out this race due to some internet issues, and the alternate for the North American E-Racing League, Draven64, has been inserted into the field here at Talladega as the White Knuckle guys lead them back to green.
Slingshot engage as we are going racing, as we're going to rack them and stack them for our first caution here at Talladega in the League Weekly Challenge. Woodruff Racing, the man from Michigan, says, "What's up? How are you doing, buddy? Long time no talk." 2 black cars try to pull down to the inside. Hardest portion about Talladega and Daytona, even on that outside. Sticks or wheel, trying to be able to maintain it, make no contact. 3 and 4 wide, 3 cars, 3 black cars now hooking up down the straightaway. Black cars is the White Knuckle Racing. You do not want to see teammates hook up like that, but we also have the 2 blue cars. I do believe that's NASCAR behind them. So these guys are trying to hook up as teammates and try to get away. 3 cars on the outside right there. They cannot make it work. You've got to have power numbers. 1 car going for the double yellow line there. Sorry, guys.
All good now.
Updated points real quick. After Auto Club, the White Knuckle Racing League is ahead with 110 total points. Giggity right now is in 2nd place with 98, and NOS is in 3rd with 94 after Auto Club.
definitely still really close on points for a lot of these teams, and expect those numbers to possibly change not only in the top 3 but in the standings as a whole, and expect to see maybe 1 or even 2 new teams with this run at Talladega make some changes in the point standings and try and shift a couple new teams up towards the top of the charts now. Again, we see those 3 white knucklers up front, 2 NOS racing cars behind them, and then a plethora of the entire color palette as we move back down to the inside line. Almost everyone down there, but we see 4 or 5 cars still running that high line, trying to make it work up top here at Talladega.
Now this might be a bold move, Con. This might be a bold move, but everybody running lime green wheels, it looks like. Sorry, guys, I had to do it.
Love the lime green wheels. Love them.
Bold move, Con.
That is one thing that these cars all have in common here tonight is the lime green wheels. Thank you, 704, for these beautiful rims. As it looks like most of the field right now has gotten single file here at Talladega, trying to log some green flag laps. Longest run here for the whole event here tonight. So we might be gearing up for some green flag pit stops if I don't jinx it.
Oh, no commentary curse. That's what I call it. The curse. Don't do it.
It happens all the time. I've been a part of it, and I've been on the receiving end of it. It's a real thing.
This commentary curse brought to you by the Back Alley Bakery.
Oh man, we go back through turns 1 and 2 now. We see a couple cars deciding to go up towards the high line. No one necessarily on the same team trying to get up there and work together. It looks like more cars getting shifted up towards the outside there. As now we see some of the good cars, a lot of those pink guys. Some guys like Nuka Bob Quantum in the 21 there in the back of those 4 pink cars, all starting to group together now on the bottom line. Look for those guys to try and maybe shift their way up towards the front once they all get stacked up together.
One of the white cars right there, the 48, gets moved right there. That's one of the Denaro cars. He says, I got to run. I'm going to take it. He takes the outside line. They're trying to make it. They are 5 cars wide on the outside. But can they get clean down the aisle? This cars lead draft.
So as we've got single file, I'm going to go ahead and highlight another league here. We've got the TRL Tokers Racing League participating here tonight. You'll find them in the lime green cars that match the rims. They are the newest league in this whole event. They have just been formed, and they have brought 4 drivers here tonight: Gizmo Dragon, Duhan Jr. 18M, Big Dane 78, and Danny God 21 to the event here tonight. So welcome, Tokers Racing League, and we are glad to have you here this evening.
Again, the pink is Giggity, the white is Gnarl, orange is NASCAR, the green is the Truth Racing League, we have the red is the Thunderstruck God, black is the White Knuckle Racing, and the blue is the Blue Blood Cars. They are team represented by colors.
Absolutely. And one of the guys that has really stuck out to me so far from that team that we just highlighted a second ago, Dane 78, running a little in the pack right with his number lime green Chevy Camaro, sponsored by Mountain Dew as well. Definitely a nice little touch there. Definitely something to look for, as he was running really, really well for the majority of the race at Auto Club before he got involved in a wreck, and was able to start near the front in this race as well after getting a great lap there at Auto Club. So look for him to maybe be a factor on that 1.5 mile at Vegas that we get to shortly, as we see cars going down for pit lane right now.
Oh boy, this could get hot and heavy. Who's going to get caught for speeding here going into pits? Because black flags are on. That could end your race if you speed on the pit lane.
Yeah, getting one good bump from somebody as they're getting down through the gears all hard on the binders, and if they push you down, that will affect that race. We still have a gaggle of cars out there on the track, not choosing not to pit yet, but we are on a green like it's waiting right now, and it is a busy, busy place.
2 of the white knucklers and 3 of the NOS cars all making it onto pit road at that time. So definitely some teammates working together to communicate and get onto pit road at the same time. Sorry about that.
So these guys pitting are right at the end of stage number 1. So this could be a strategy play for some of these guys who decided to pit. That way they come out ahead of everybody else at the beginning of stage 2. It looks like the rest of these guys, they want some stage points, because we have stages here on at Dega, and they award points. So here comes the field as the rest of these guys are coming out of the pits. Or we're going to see some action here. Looks like the field's checking up a little bit.
Too, and that international signal, it doesn't matter if it's a 1.5 mile short track or a speedway, that you dip down below there and let people know that, hey, I am pitting.
Definitely some hairy moments here at the end of the stage. These guys are 2 and 3 wide here at the front of the field.
looks like we saw a little bit of strategy play there. Some of those guys just deciding to take 2 tires or maybe just take full to make it to the end of the stage there without having any issues. Maybe didn't hit on that first wreck that we had and did not have a chance to make it on fuel. Other drivers deciding to take 4 and possibly go a lap down, knowing that they could take the wave around here as we come to a close.
Look at those giggity cars. They were 1 through 4 coming to the line. That is how you do it in this League versus League challenge. The teamwork to a maximum. Giggity is going to sweep stage number 1, 1 through 4.
I do believe that was Hunty Wild who did get that. A buddy from Ohio, No Shift Pendle, a.k.a. OH Buddy. He's right up there, too. Everybody, again, in that same chat party, they were able to save that lap of fuel, maybe by utilizing that draft. We did see green flag pit stops.
Indeed, and definitely some fuel saving that can happen in that draft, whether it be the outside or the inside line. Trying to stay off the bumper of the guy in front of you and deciding to maybe put half a car length or so, or maybe even a little bit less, in between you and the guy in front of him to save yourself from some fuel can definitely add up over the course of a run, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of that strategy play out in lap 3. But now, those 4 giggity cars, led by Hunty Wild, the winner of stage number 1, lead the field back down to green as we begin stage number 2 here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Resets, not customs, and you just saw it. Those 4 pink cars dive to the inside, all let each other in, trying to get back.
Big wreck in the back.
Hard contact. Pull it out right there for those guys. Over 6 cars, it looks like that was involved in that. I do believe that will bring out another caution.
Immediate caution as these guys were getting back up through the gears at the beginning of stage number 2. Had a huge wreck in the back of the field. Is that the big one, or are we going to see another one here at Talladega? We'll find out here soon. But that's gonna.
It's not over yet. Like you said, with that big one, things can happen, and I expect it to. Patience will run thin at the end of this race, but you got to get to the front to lead, and you can't do it by getting involved in stuff like that. Sometimes, again, we talked about it too. 2 cars wide, some people on sticks, some people on wheel. Even if everybody was on a wheel, 2x2 here at Talladega, going into 1, very difficult situation.
Absolutely. 3 of those Knox cars getting involved in that wreck there, as well as one of the drivers that I highlighted just a minute ago, Big Dane, part of that green team TRL, Tokyo Racing League. And now we go back to green with some guys deciding to come in, some others deciding to stay out as we get back down to racing here at Talladega once again.
We're going to rack them and stack them. The 48's going to pull the inside line right there, and you already heard he's on the outside. He's going to utilize that outside line with those guys, high, wide, and handsome line. Everybody trying to get down to the inside line, though, trying to make it work, and that's all it does is hinder the outside line because, again, power in numbers. Talladega, everybody trying to work together. That pit stop definitely threw a kink in the wrenches for everybody right there because of the teammates that they might have been working with are no longer with them. These guys still trying to make everything happen, looking smooth, clean and green down the backstretch. 4 cars to the outside, 18 plus cars to the inside.
Here comes that inside lane with the momentum, though. They're going to overtake that high lane as everybody tries to funnel their way to the bottom of the track.
Mike, where do you prefer to run? Do you like the inside line or do you like the outside line?
Well,
outside guys.
Obviously, the inside lane is always going to be the best lane here at these super speedways. But me, myself, I love, there's no greater feeling than making that high lane work.
I love it, yes. I absolutely love that high line. Again, now we did talk about it. These cars trying to hook up each other when they can. Still too wide down the back stretch. Captain Killer, he's the second place car on the outside lane. He's in that grab. You got to be careful not to flip that wall. That'll cut the things off. That will cut you. He has some help from behind giving him a push. As we see one of the white knuckle racer cars in that black. Oh, hard contact right there. As I see it, the 96 gets into the 14. That's going to
be a big one.
Absolutely. We saw some of the NARL cars getting involved there, as well as a few of the NOS cars, a couple of the white knucklers involved in that one as well, right down in the middle of the pack. And more landscaping purchases are going to need to be made by Talladega Superspeedway Auto Club. Already saw a big payout after all of the crashes that went through the infield there, and now we see one here. Big hit there for the NARL team. Definitely Captain Killam. We also saw the number 33 involved in that incident. The number 14 and the number 16. Definitely some interesting plays there in the middle of the pack that caused that wreck. We saw some guys shifting around, and a big loss there for NARL. Thankfully, some time to go in and fix those issues and be able to run back up near the front of the pack towards the end of this one.
Yeah, the North American E-Racing League drivers were stuck on the high lane and falling to the back prior to that accident, and that's what happens when you get back there. Cautions, they're more prevalent towards the back of the field for the most part. Let's see if they can work their way back up towards the front. But right now, we have got, let's see who's leading this field to green. Is it You Already Heard stayed out?
I don't know if he did, but does on the outside. He's going to try to get down. There he does. He does pull down, utilize that draft. We're up to 20 viewers, over 234 comments, so thank you guys out there in YouTube land for watching us over there at Giggity, but we are not done yet. We are still got Las Vegas. Everybody trying to make everything work right here. Can they do it? Be patient, be cautious.
It is Lil Corey O from the World Racing League right now in the 48 Chevrolet out in front of this field, leading them around here in stage number 2 at Talladega Superspeedway.
Indeed, there was a spin in turn number 1 there. Skull Racer got squeezed down low coming out of the pack, heading to turn 1 and spun off of that banking that gets lower and lower as you get towards the apron. He goes into the grass and unfortunately gets pushed back down. Now coming just into turn number 3 right now as the leaders going through turns 1 and 2. Thankfully, he'll be able to get back towards the end of the stage. But right now, we see the Cowboys 9-6-1-2 running in 3rd position. Another one of those red, white, and blue Chevy Camaros underneath the double yellow line, trying to get his nose off of the rear end of the car in 2nd place right now. Looks to be another one of those Tilted Racing League drivers.
This is one of those tracks where you want to drive the racetrack, not the driver. Don't follow him. If he hits the apron, the chances you are too. Same thing if you hit the wall. 4 cars back here, all the pink ones hooked up there, trying to make everything. King Joy, he's right there. He's back here in 4th. Now look at this inside line. At one point in time, for a split second, we saw everybody in the inside line. 1 car hits the apron, flips the grass, pulls up into the wall, heavy contact 4. 2 car, 3 wide back there. Can he keep it off everybody? He does.
Now, because of those yellows here in stage number 2, we are already within 2 laps to go here to the end of the stage. So everybody trying to fight to get into the top 10 to earn some points for their league, for their team here at Talladega.
Shadowhawk might look like he had a little mechanical failure. He is on pit lane.
Shadowhawk did indeed DNF here from this race. He will be awarded last place points here at Talladega, unfortunately for him. Lag is part of the game. People lag out all the time. It happens in league races, happens in public lobbies. It's the nature of the beast, and it's an unfortunate
Where do you
situation.
want to be on the last lap? Do you want to be the leader? Do you want to be in second place?
Once again. Another wreck, a couple of the white knucklers involved. It looks like a push down there from one of the Giggity guys. Got into one of the white knucklers going down into turn number 1, and it caused a huge wreck as the number 22 spun down into turn number 1, and one of the Giggity guys got spun up into the wall, causing about an 8 or 9 car crash, and that will end the stage. I believe it was the number 18 of Daha Junior 18M who finished up front in that stage. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw that green car getting up in front right before the caution flag flew to end stage number 2 here at Talladega.
Yep, so Lil Corey O from the World Racing League is going to take stage number 2, and a good bucket of points for the World Racing League, who definitely needed those points after Auto Club. They were sitting in 6th place out of the 8 leagues. So good for them.
Absolutely. We talked a little bit ago about the Giggity guys finishing 1, 2, 3, 4 in that first stage, finishing 5, 6, 7, and 8 in stage number 2. So still doing a great job of getting right there together and making teamwork happen. I'm sure they were going to try and make a move there on the last lap to take the stage, but more points for that group, and they definitely are getting a big payout here at Talladega as they go back down into turn 1.
You see that custom 88 Mountain Dew making move to the inside as we are doing a little bit of boom vision for you guys out there in YouTube land. Inside line, everybody trying to hold on. Again, they look very smooth coming down this backstretch. That's how you make it work. The high line definitely trying to do something now. Car still right there just above the yellow line. The 88 underneath him doesn't make anything happen. Take better of it. Drafted. Now they are starting to spread themselves out 3 wide. Gotta be careful about that. And it's one of the white narwhals out front.
Things getting hairy here in the middle of the field. You see 2 and 3 wide. About 10th place on back as we have some contact. We're going to have a big wreck in turn number 1. One car hard into the wall.
Ooh, definitely a hard wreck there. A couple of really, really tough hits into the outside wall. It looked like there was a NOS car that got into the wall going up towards turn number 1, came back down onto the racetrack and collected what looks to be one of the Toker Racing League drivers. I believe it was Gizmo Durgan in the number 53 green, purple, and orange machine in his Toyota Camry, and that caused a big 9 to 10 car pileup. That car absolutely destroyed, as you can see, and looking back, a white knuckler involved. It looks like a couple of white and blue cars. There you see Danny God 21, another one of those Toker Racing League cars, also involved with some front end damage.
Still have Las Vegas coming up after this, too. You know, one track, again, not being biased, but Hunky Wild out there driving one of those pink cars, he would have loved to see the road course. He's a very good road course guy. But here we go, the 48. The Gnarl car. We're going to rack him and stack him with these beautiful lime green wheels here at Talladega Stage 2.
We are in the final stage here at Talladega. Stage 2 is already over with. I will get a lap count here for you in just a minute as I get my my cords untangled.
Gotta love those cords.
I hate them.
I'm not gonna lie to you, the reason why I don't have a wireless is because I would probably forget to plug it in every night. So this just is a little bit more convenient. We see the white knuckle guy right there in second place. Everyone try to get back down to that inside line. Contact being made. 3 wide to the outside. One car clips the wall.
And it looks like everyone gets out of it okay now. We saw a lot of guys clipping the apron there in turns 1 and 2, getting back up to speed, still doing so in the triangle here from second on back. These guys continuing to flare in and out of that drafting line, trying to keep themselves intact. Now, again, you talked about Coach Matt, that white knuckler sitting in second position. A bevy of different teams being represented here in the top 5. NOS is up there. We saw Toker Racing League up there. White knuckle, once again, one of the drivers that you mentioned, being up in that pack and being led by the number 48 machine, part of the North American E-Racing League. And definitely some interesting teammate work now. We see third and fourth place being run Toker's machines, and 5th and 6th, the NOS guys working together as well in that front pack.
So we've got a bunch of different leagues here in this front 5 or 6 car breakaway. Not really any teams sticking together here at Talladega, which I figured we might see a little bit more of. But there's lots of parity here.
I do like the teamwork that I have seen, but coming into that final stage, in order to get that W, to get that best finish they can, they're trying to do anything they can to get up there. One car out to the high side by himself, not going to work out good. Trying to get back to the inside line, that will make it almost 30 cars wide, at least 31, because I think 2 cars might have had some technical difficulties out there. One car moves up, he hits the apron. Again, you gotta be careful about kissing that butter. It is slick, that's why they call it butter. But
the white knuckle car into the wall.
Oh! No, take it. Coach Matt, difficulties, trying to hold it down. No caution, trying to bring it down pit lane.
We stay green as one of the white knuckle cars got out of line as he came back down, made some contact with one of the cars on the inside lane and hard into the wall. We stay green here at Talladega with a little Corio still maintaining his lead out front.
2 packs starting to break away from everybody right now. Probably a 10-car pack trying to do a pull away, but that's because of that accident. The second cars, they have to work together. They have to, it doesn't matter what color your car is, in order to catch that front pack, they need to stay in that draft. They have to be able to get back up to that front pack. Still, the white car right there, he is blowing everybody around. That is the white 48 of the Gnarl car. He's liking where he's at. One car misses pit lane, and it's unfortunate circumstance for him.
Looks like a 2-car breakaway as a result of the crash that involved Coach Matt there and one of the NOS drivers. I believe it was Speed Racer in the 99, if I'm not mistaken. that made contact with him that caused that small wreck. We didn't go under caution though, and we see those 2 packs now broken away, and even more so maybe 4 up front and 4 or 5 more cars behind him. But definitely that wreck causing a rift between the 2 packs now that will have to be filled by those guys running after the 9th or 10th position if they want a chance of getting back up there and fighting for the win.
We are coming to 7 to go here at Talladega. These guys will not be able to make it on fuel, to my knowledge, at least from the stream that I am watching. We might see some late race pit stops here, so stay tuned and find out, as we got one car coming off pit lane already all by himself. That's not going to work out if you don't have any partners.
Everybody trying to put themselves in that strategic position to get themselves up there. Fluffy, he said, "Man, this is crazy." And then we got 2 famous people up in here. We got Fluffy, and we got Jimbo Earnhardt. I mean, with a name like Earnhardt, you know you're famous, right?
We have got a 9-car breakaway up front, and they have got a huge margin over the cars behind them, probably 2 seconds over the second group, as we got one of the Giggity cars coming down pit lane all by himself. Oh, he's got a partner right now. He hits the inside wall under braking.
Who's going to have a little bit of that testicular fortitude? Who's going to stay out? Who's going to utilize that draft and save that fuel to make it work? Can they make it? I don't know if they can, again, with no in-race reporter on board with Bubba right now. He is, but they'll make contact with just a little bit bumper at the 88, so he gets pushed up the track. But who is going to try to chance it? And who's going to say, I'm going to take my points because I still got Vegas coming up next?
Got the NOS cars moving up to 2nd and 3rd here, getting around Big Dane as he gets shuffled to the back of the front pack.
We saw, I believe it was Hunty Wild, part of the Giggity gang, that got really, really hammered into that inside wall, destroyed the left front of his race car. And it looks like, unfortunately for him, if he has to make repairs to that car, that will ruin his chances at the win today. And which is unfortunate because we saw he had a fast machine. The Giggity guys working all really well together, better than any other team we had seen, as well as seeing him win the first stage in this one. So unfortunate to see there, but still a great job by that Giggity team today nonetheless.
We have got a majority of the field.
Pit lane looking like me trying to get to the gas station before they close in 5 minutes. It is a very busy place.
Majority of the field on pit lane here for some final pit stops within 5 laps to go here at Dega.
Are they taking fuel? Are they going to get just enough petrol to get to the end? Or are they going to take at least right sides?
Yeah, from the stream I'm watching, I've got no tires, just fuel.
Fuel only, petrol only for these guys, trying to stretch it, make it to the end.
And it looks like they might have to take at least 1 can of fuel to be able to make it to the end now, as I believe we're coming down to 3 laps to go. In just a minute here. Seeing these guys maybe try and stretch fuel if they were maybe a quarter or a half a lap short there near the end. We see a battle between the NOS cars and the Giggity cars up near the front of that pack. Coming off of pit road, you see Speed Racer in the 99. Running in 3rd, I believe, at the moment behind the 2 Giggity cars in front of him. Another one of his teammates in the 98 right behind him. And then a 5th driver from the North American E-Racing League sitting in 5th position.
Now, the 2 Giggity cars pitted a lap earlier than the rest of the field. They had a huge run coming around, these guys getting up to speed, and they are going to take the lead here. No shift Pendle to the front of the field late at Talladega.
I won't hold him against him, even though he's from Ohio. He's a Browns fan, still pulling Hunty Wild right there with him. He's got one of the NOS cars right behind him, too. This is where I would want to be. I would want to be sitting in that 2nd, 3rd position, and when I peek my nose out, if you're not in a chat with somebody, you say, hey, that's your key to go. Let's do it.
As we have got 2 Giggity cars out front. We have got 2 NOS cars in this pack. And according to my stream, we've got a missing car somewhere in that field. Captain Killam, who has disappeared, is somewhere in this front pack as well. Not the first time I've seen that on this game. But,
that happened not too long ago, I agree. Everybody's like, I can't see Captain Jack. Now people think their name was Captain. But old Captain Jack is self-proclaimed fastest guy in Heat 5. On delay. It's an inside joke, but there you go, buddy. Yeah.
Yep, Captain Killam is in that pack somewhere.
Captain Killam sitting right now currently in the 3rd position in front of the 2 NOS cars behind him in 4th and 5th. with the 2 Giggity cars sitting in front right now. Still No Shift Pendel up front there in that number 17 machine. Haven't seen much of him. He was rearing that whole Giggity car field, I believe, in stages 1 and 2. Now finally gets his moment in the sun after being a team player all day long. Can he take it home today at Talladega, as we have just a couple laps remaining?
We've got 2 Giggity, 2 NARL, and 2 NOS here in the front 6, vying for the win here in race number 2 of this 3-race event at Talladega Superspeedway. Who's going to be able to pull out the win here? Who's going to make the move? When are they going to make the move? Stay tuned. This is about to be action-packed here to finish off this Superspeedway.
Chevy versus Ford Crime coming down the straightaway. The 3 cars behind them that you'd think they would have been able to suck up on that 2-car. The 2-car pack right in front of them. 1 car drifts up just a little bit. Now they're going to the high side. No Shifts right there. He's got Hunting Wild pushing him down the back stretch. 2 cars go to the outside. Can they make it work? No, they cannot. They pull it back down. So we have 2 pink cars, a white car, and a blue car. So all leagues being represented. No Shift Pendle trying to pull him down. Very few laps to end here, and we still got Vegas to come.
Coming to the white flag.
This is the white flag lap. If I was Hunty, that is where I would want to be, especially with help behind.
One of those NOS drivers running out of fuel. I believe it was the number 98 machine now, as there are just 4 cars in this front pack. No Shift Pendel sitting there on the inside line, and the number 17 still holding up in front of his teammate Honey Wild, the winner of stage number 1 here. Captain sitting in 3rd position. I believe it's Hot Wheels sitting in 4th as we head down the backstretch and get in towards turn number 3 here.
Car makes a move to the outside. Can he make it stick? He has no help. Hunter tried to throw a little bit of a block. Is that trying to help his teammate?
The Gnarl cars went high. The NOS car went with the Giggity cars. That's going to allow the Giggity cars, I believe, here to hang on and claim Talladega as they come through the tri-oval for the final time.
No Shift Pendle and Hunty Wild looks like, and it's not official because of the long straightaway. There's a block in the road.
Pendle is going to take race number 2 for the Giggity Racing League.
Oh, MPP. Good job by them, and that was great strategy, and that was great teamwork by everybody out there.
Absolutely, and I think Giggity definitely made the most of that teamwork. NOS, you also saw at the end of the race there, definitely showed their strength as well, with 2 of them sitting up there with the 2 Giggity machines. But all along this course of this race, you saw those pink cars ganging up together, whether it be Ford, Chevy, or Toyota, and you saw them all pushing one another to help out, and we end up getting a win from the Giggity group now after seeing a little bit less of the spotlight at Auto Club. And now we move along to Las Vegas. Will one of these 2 leagues, Giggity and White Knuckle, be able to take home a second win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where we see 3 different leagues in these 3 races take home wins?
All right, so No Shift Pendle is going to win that race. Hunty Wild comes home second. Draven 64, the alternate for North American E-Racing League, drives his way through the field, finishes 3rd, followed by Captain Kilman 4th, and Speed 000 Racer for NOS Racing League rounds out your top 5 at Talladega. So we're down to 1 race left, guys. This is for all the marbles, all the poker chips. You put them all in the same pot, and who's going all in and who's going to bring home that title here of best league, quote unquote, bragging rights here at Vegas.
Everybody gives me a lot of crap all the time because they say I need oxygen. Well, I'm going to need my oxygen bottle coming down to watch this race end.
Oh, absolutely. And you'll definitely see some action, I'm sure, at the end of the race. The way we had cautions at Auto Club now coming to an even tighter track here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in just a second. There's no doubt in my mind that we are going to be seeing some very exciting action and likely a second NASCAR overtime here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
I love this league on league versus everybody, you know. And again, seeing familiar teams, some familiar names race against each other. Everybody races with each other, but then they say, you know what? This is who I'm going to represent. This is who I'm going to represent. We've had 2 different leagues be represented in these wins, but it's not over. We are crowning ourselves a Drivers' Championship and a League Championship tonight.
All right, as I'm going to go ahead and go silent for a few minutes while I work on some paperwork here. So everybody stay tuned. We got Vegas coming up next here in just a few minutes.
You heard it here first. It sounds like Gator Mike's going to go out there and do the old championship 1992 Atlanta, who's going to lead what lap and pull down the points and everything. Jim, thank you again, man. It's an honor to have you up here. You're a great commentator. This has been a blast. But, man, we still got some stuff to be we still got one race to finish this thing. And I still stick to this. That second lane's going to look good tonight.
I can absolutely imagine. One thing to note at Las Vegas Motor Speedway that you see at some other tracks as well, although the high side not as prominent at most of them, is that your right side tires will not experience as much wear, especially that right front tire at Las Vegas when you run the high side. It's not by much, but it could probably save you one more lap of staying out on the racetrack. And from what we saw in the White Knuckle Racing League Championship in Xfinity and in the Cup Series, it came down to who had the fuel at the end of the race. The Truck Series race did as well, where the leader of the race got lost fuel in the middle of turn number 3, couldn't make it around to the start-finish line before the guy in second who took a half can more of fuel was able to get around him and win the race. So it's not only going to be about how fast you can be running that high line, but if we end up getting some long green flag runs, what these guys can do to manage their stuff and who's going to be able to come out on top at the end of it all.
And what preset you've run does affect what tire wear you wear. Depending upon your driving style, if you drive it in real hard, you're going to eat that right front up. I mean, heck, you could even eat the right rear up. You could eat all the tires up. Fuel strategy might be an issue too. We don't know what's going to happen with the customs at the same time. But, with the cautions, but that's still going to give you an option to come in, get four freshies, and make these much needed adjustments on these preset cars.
Absolutely. And one more thing to note, there are definitely going to be some interesting strategy moves. This seems to be the one track where we would see maybe more two-tire stops than we saw at the previous two tracks, despite two-tire stops being very popular at both of those racetracks as well. The left side tires here, the less percentage that you have on those things, the less grip you have. And so expect these guys to maybe get a little bit loose off the corners late in runs, nearly regardless of what setup they run, although I agree with you, that tire wear, especially on the right sides, super important depending on what kind of setup you run here.
And what you kids now say nowadays, too, by the way, Jim is half my age. That makes me feel like, wow, what is going on? What the kids say is facts. That is facts right there. You have to be able to manage your tires here.
And we talked about just a second ago, I believe it was before the first race, Las Vegas's dual banking system that allows for this great side-by-side racing through the corners and creates a double-lane racetrack. The only other track on the circuit where we see this intense amount of double banking system is at Homestead Miami Speedway, where we've also seen quite a bit of great double-line racing, and definitely something to look for as we see guys be able to make passes both on the inside and outside here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
And there is a particular way that I like to drive this track. That second lane is fast, especially if you got somebody inside. But if you are pulling somebody and you have nobody to the inside, diamonding that corner off. I know you guys mentioned that a little bit earlier, but being able to diamond that corner off, that will be able to help you out a little bit. Drive it in deep and let her eat.
Absolutely, and running as close to the wall as you can, especially if you want to try and run it into the middle lane coming into the corner, slide up high, and come back a little bit lower coming out of the corner if you're running by yourself and trying to stick someone on your rear bumper. A great way to do that for sure. And possibly, do we see a little bit more wrecks because of that double lane system, seeing some guys maybe try and pull some slide jobs coming out of turns 2 and 4 here at Vegas?
Oh, I can't wait to say it because you know it's going to happen. I love saying slide job. It will happen. It will happen, especially because of somebody, everybody, again, we talked about this, we are on a preset system. So if you have to back your car up because you might be on a 4 or a 5 because of the tire wear being on a 4 times tire wear, back that corner up and dive it in, you might drift up. Somebody else on a looser setup might be able to drive it underneath you and pull that slide job off.
For sure. And one thing to note, someone that we haven't talked about very much on this stream tonight after 2 races, King Joey 1986, I believe driving for the Thunderstruck Racing League, got the pole with a 46.182 second lap time at Talladega. He starts first in the Las Vegas race that we will have coming up for you just momentarily.
And I know you're a little bit biased to this track. You said that's one of your home tracks. If we do travel out there, even if I don't get to attend one of these tracks, Vegas is one of those tracks I do want to go watch at, but I'd rather drive it than watch there. Let me tell you what, it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and I did get the chance with the Richard Petty Racing Experience to go on this track 2 years ago and race it at about 175 max miles per hour. And one of the big things to note that these drivers are definitely going to feel as well when they run that inside line are the bumps coming out of turns 2 and 4. You might see these cars start to wheel hop just a tiny bit on that right front coming out of the corners as a result of those bumps, and it can make the car extremely tight and eat that right front tire to bits coming out of these corners, and that can be huge in terms of long run, showing when you have to pit.
And something that you just brought up that I really do enjoy is the fact that Atlanta, for example, you can almost see somebody's rear end if they don't, especially on a custom, if they don't or preset when they're not balanced out, the bumps will come into effect. That will eat your tire up a little bit more too there too. Not the smoothest track out there, but it's super very fast track.
Absolutely, and after they repaved this track in 2006, that dual banking system we talked about just a moment ago came into effect, and since then, the racing at Las Vegas has gotten better and better every year. Expect to see some more astounding wrecks, great close side-by-side action, and some impressive moments on the racetrack by these amazing all-star drivers that we've seen here in these 8 leagues, well represented by every single driver involved, and again, thank you for bringing me into the booth as well as putting Mike Gator. We really much appreciate it, and I cannot be happy enough to bring everyone around their coverage of the event tonight.
Yeah, it was a little bit of short notice for me. Sundays normally are my day off, but as soon as I heard this opportunity, I couldn't say no. How are you going to say no to this? This is intense.
Oh, completely agreed. I had the same issue doing a couple of things with my school as we start to get ready to go back to the school year, working with the band that I am in as well. I was kind of on the edge of making sure whether I could do this until this morning, but once I figured out that I could, it was a no-brainer. You got to come in and you got to do this because this is definitely one of the most exciting events on Heat 5.
And Heat 5 has done a great job. Again, they have had a little issues out there. The lime green and the tire counter, especially. It sounds like you've done a lot of commentating and broadcasting too. Wish they get that issue figured out. But to be up here with you and Gator, watch 8 leagues, duel it out, 3 tracks. I mean, come on with your bad self. Who doesn't want to watch this? We got over 22 viewers out there in Giggity YouTube land right now, and almost 300 comments.
Wow, that is insane. Great to see that we are getting that much support from all 3 channels that we're streaming to. Thank you guys so much for coming in and joining us. We're already 2 races through now, getting ready in the preparation stages for the 3rd and final race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. For all the support, for all 8 leagues, and for everyone joining us, we say a giant thank you for coming in and watching tonight's event. Get ready for the seasons to start back up once again. I know tomorrow night the White Knuckle Racing League is beginning with our Dirt Series on Monday, Tuesday night trucks at Daytona, Wednesday Xfinity, and Thursday the big Daytona 250 that we've got running. So I know we're starting our league up this very week.
Yeah, with Giggity last season, we'll be into season 5. This will be my 3rd season with them. Tomorrow night, we also start our season 5. We did a little mini season in between Heat 4 and Heat 5. Tomorrow will be our preset and custom truck guys. Tuesday will be our dirt night. Then we go to our preset and custom cup guys on Wednesday. That is what we call the elite guys. Thursday will be the preset and custom Xfinity. And as always, some of the best racing we've seen in a long time, too. Thank you to the Bear family out there, Mom and Pa Bear. The development series, custom and preset on Fridays. We used to run 7 days a week. We were running 1 night a week there, 1 league, but now we're back up to 2. But let me tell you what, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to every league in here.
Absolutely. You want to make sure that we can support as many leagues as we can, this community, like we talked about before the races started. Not a big one, so it's very important every single one of these leagues get recognized. Once again, we'll name them off. The North American E-Racing League, the Tokers Racing League, Thunderstruck Racing League, the Giggity Racing League, the Blue Blood Racing League, World Racing League, NOS Racing League, and White Knuckle Racing League. Make sure that you guys go and follow all of the broadcasters. Go visit all of their web pages. I don't necessarily know and don't have the links for all of them. I'll try and get them in the description after the live stream here whenever these get uploaded into YouTube videos. But yeah, so please plug in your socials as needed in chat if you have them in there. I'll just go ahead and plug ours right now, the WhiteKnuckleRacingLeague.com. We have an Instagram page as well, and I believe a Facebook page that you can go in and follow so you can get updates for all of our events and get a chance to meet all of the drivers that we have with special pages for driver names as well as for the broadcasters.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that too. Again, that this will take the second one, so obviously there's 6 more to be joining out there. Giggity YouTube Racing. Find us on Facebook also. We do have a couple sponsors out there. We have a clothing line sponsor, and we also have a new sponsor and SNS Scrapyard out there too. There will be a prizes awarded for that stuff too. We're up over 534 subscribers. That is friends and family. We have over 300 drivers, so like the White Knuckle, White Gnarl, hit and subscribe to Giggity Racing because I mean, if there isn't real racing on TV, you know you're going to find it 5 days a week, if not more, watching these subscriptions, and that's how you get your NASCAR fix.
Absolutely, love getting the NASCAR fix. You can never seem to get enough, can you?
No, absolutely not. As everybody knows, I am a Chevy guy, but just hearing anywhere from 550 to 750 horsepower, small block Chevy, Fords, and Toyotas ripping around the car, ripping around the track, the downforce, the intensity, the science behind everything, the talent that you see, you can't get any better than just. I mean, if you want to watch 8 seconds of fast, then go to a drag strip. You want to watch intensity and dedication. Watch NASCAR.
Absolutely. Very much more to come. Once again, we have the Las Vegas Motor Speedway race, the last race of the night. I believe we're going to be running about 100 miles there, and that will conclude the night. We will crown a singular driver championship as well as a league championship for the team that accumulated the most league points as we get ready and prepare for what should be the most exciting race of the night here in the League versus League tournament. Once again, thank you to the North American E-Racing League for hosting, and thank you to all of our participants tonight.
And a big thanks out to Gator Mike out there. He's not only helping broadcast, he participates, he's helping do the math, he's doing all the points, everything right now. So we just have me up here in the booth. I appreciate that too. So thank you guys. And I mean, man, I don't want to be Gator Mike's fingers right now on that calculator.
Dude, they hurt. Especially trying to get all the results together here. I'm trying to piece it together off of everybody's stream because had a little issue getting the results for Talladega, so it's making it a bit of a challenge. But I'm up for it.
Jason Robinson out there in the Giggity YouTube land, he says howdy. He wants to say hi to everybody. What's up? Again, this last race brought to you by the Back Alley Bakeries, and don't forget, everybody, do not forget to tune in because strategy, these guys are on presets. And let me ask you real quick, Jim, what are your thoughts on this with the fourth gear lockout on your custom setups? These guys are on presets, but that brings a new dynamic to these custom guys.
It sure does, and one of the most interesting things to see is right away, this is something that has been mandated by NASCAR in real life. These fourth gear locks are a thing that people have to work around when they prepare real legitimate race cars every single week at the track that we go and watch on television. So even though I believe that it would be fun to continue to tamper with those fourth gear settings and like to see guys do some little different things because, as we get down to the short tracks or even if we go to super speedways, you'll see guys that only run 2 or 3 gear sets and they would normally be able to run a 4 gear set and rev more RPM in their machines. So it makes it a little more difficult, but overall I actually like the idea because of the realism aspect, being able to have just one more obstacle to work around to really show who's the best of the best at creating these custom setups.
And that's definitely going to play into a factor, too, for a lot of these drivers, especially a lot of our Pro League drivers out there, too. I know they've got some help and everything, but putting that in there, it makes you think more. It really is like, where do I want to run RPM-wise, fuel-wise? Booger McFarland says that the higher RPM you run, the more fuel you're going to burn.
Very much true. And I actually noticed that whenever I was running in a test session at Road America last week, got to talk a little bit about some of the guys that I was working with just to run a couple of laps there and see what was going on. Found out that on a manual shifter, running in 4th gear can save you up to a quarter lap of fuel, and so we ran a 5-lap stage. Everyone else had to pit, and I was able to make it all through those 5 laps. So revving a lot less RPMs really does make a huge difference without losing too much time. So something to focus on for those of you who are looking to make custom setups here at specific tracks. Just something to remember.
And I do got to give a shout out to our buddy out there. His name is The Dirty Dog. He's muted. Tom Horton is muted. Again, just everybody in the chat party right now, tell him he's muted. He's not allowed to be in here anymore. He's muted.
That is unfortunate, but it happens.
It does happen. It happens a lot to old Dirt Dog. He gets muted a lot.
Oh, boy. Well, that's life, you know?
He's one of those guys. What are you going to do, right?
What can you do?
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it,
Hate
indeed.
to see it.
You hate to see it. But no, we are going Vegas. Again, caution to no stages. We did see stages at Talladega, Jim. Everything was going to be a little bit more unique. Draft very, very, very much into effect. Throttle control and line situations, I think, is going to be a big thing. Because if you're in that draft, you have to be able to utilize to get out of that throttle. As racers, it is very hard to say, I don't want to get out of the gas. I'm a racer. I want to go. But you got to be able to find that throttle control here at Vegas.
Extremely important because you also have that fuel that you have to take into account. And it could come into play as soon as lap 1. I know every time I come to Las Vegas, I like to run the high line, especially in the Cup cars, because I know they're a little bit looser and I can get very even tire wear on these presets in the right sides with the right preset. Not going to give away which one that is. My secrets shall not all go out there, although most of them probably already have. But we talked a little bit about that right side wear earlier. You have to focus from the very beginning of your run, not just on the track position that you have, but what your car is going to be like as the run goes along. So that will dictate some of the pit strategies that get run in this race, as well as a couple of the different ways that people will try and make their way to the front of the field.
I don't know, 4 times tire wear, that does come into effect on what slider you're going to set since these guys are on presets. Vegas, I would normally love to run myself a 7 or 8. I have no problem saying that on 4 times tire wear. I would probably even run a 4 or a 5. I know it might be a little bit tighter. You might be use a little bit of that tire a little bit more. But on the long run, when we see one, your car's not going to get tail end happy and dance around you.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be totally different views for a bunch of different guys, and it's going to be very interesting. If we can get a chance to ask some of these guys, and I'm not sure we will, what they would run, I'm sure that we would get a varying array of answers. Guys running possibly everything from a 3 to a 4 to make sure that their car is stable and underneath them the entire run and using the draft to try and keep up, versus guys who run anywhere up to a 7 or 8 at this track in order to try and get the best rotation through the corners that they possibly can. So a big array of presets that are going to be used as well.
I love how you said the rotation. That is how I set up a car, whether it be preset or custom. I love the rotation of the car. That is how you make up your speed. Not necessarily down the straightaway, but coming into the corner, coming out of the corner, but in the middle. In the middle, you get that rotation, you get it right, you can flat foot it, and you make that straightaway longer. The longer the straightaway, obviously, Booger McFarland fact, the faster you go.
Indeed.
So you have to utilize that. The center of the corner is a overlooked part of setting up a car by some people, I think.
Absolutely, and you talked about it just a second ago, the different ways that people run Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You see some guys run the low line all the way through the corner, some people run the high lane, and you talked about diamonding the corner. Only possible whenever you have more rotation through the center of the corner, and although that can hurt you coming off later in a run, it's definitely something important to look at early on in a run, considering that we may have quite a few cautions in this event as well.
Something else you need to look to, just because you can diamond that corner doesn't actually mean you can actually diamond the corner. There might be a car to your inside, Jim. So you got to be aware of who's around you.
Absolutely. So I'm not sure that necessarily these guys are going to run the setups that they want. More so maybe trying to make a couple of compromises if they absolutely have to go one click loose or one click tight in order to be able to compromise so that they can run with the pack and still get a decently good feel for their race car on the short and long run.
If it was me, Vegas, 4 times tire wear, I would run a preset 5, 2 clicks down on the left, 2 clicks down on the wedge, 3 clicks right up on the rear. That's just me. That's my setup. I'm not hiding it.
That's all right. I personally would probably decide to run a 6 at this racetrack because I like the high side a little more